Can everyone hear me? Okay. Welcome everybody to the second Rhode Island Comic Con QuickDraw event. I'm Hilary Price. I'll be your host for this show, and during our time together I'm going to be throwing out drawing challenges for our 3 award-winning cartoonists, which you see. And it's kind of like a whose line is it anyway, but for drawing. So, before we begin, I just want to say how happy I am to see everybody out here for Rhode Island Comic Con, because comics are a celebration of writing and art. And STEM, we get a lot of love has been thrown to science, technology, engineering, and math, STEM. But English, arts, history, the only acronym we get is eh. So, let's get this party started. We're going to introduce our artists. Our very first artist is Mark Parisi. He draws the strip Off the Mark and has been doing it for 30 years, which is amazing because he's only 29 years old. He also draws and creates the young adult graphic novel Marty Pants on a shirt, so check that out. Our next artist is Betsey Swardlick. Swardlick. And Betsey attended Hampshire College, where you couldn't major in comics because you couldn't major in anything. And then she went to the Center for Cartoon Studies in White River Junction, Vermont, where you can only major in comics. So please welcome Betsey. Our last features cartoonist is Rick Stromoski. He, for many years, drew the syndicated daily comic strip Soup to Nuts. He has also written graphic novels, and he is the police commissioner for Suffield, Connecticut.
I have Mark's phone, and it's in this latex or clear case holder.
Does it work?
No, just for show.
So, our first challenge is called a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And what I'm going to ask our artists to do is to draw a self-portrait of themselves from the waist up. So, artists, that's right. Here we go. Yeah, ready to go. Ready to go. So, a little bit of this, a little bit of that reminds me of when I was a kid, and my neighbor Charlie Galligan and I would go into our my parents' liquor cabinet, and we would take like 1/8 of a teaspoon of this and 1/8 of a teaspoon of that and a few drops of this, and we didn't realize that we were making craft cocktails, or that I'd ever pay somebody $15 to make this up. All right, let's see what our artists have conjured. All right. Very good. So now, artists, we're going to switch positions. Rick, you're going to go to Mark's spot. Mark, you're going to go to Betsey's spot. And Betsey, you're going to go to Rick's spot. And I would like you to draw the secret hobby or passion of the cartoonist you are now in front of.
Don't you feel known, Mark?
Feel so exposed.
All right, you guys. So why don't we talk about Mark Parisi's secret lower half?
He's a Frankenfurter impersonator.
Love Roger Moore. Yes. And Mark, tell us a little bit about Betsey's secret habit.
Irish step dance.
Oh, of course. And Betsey.
I kind of think that you need to get into like dog cardio and nature trips.
Yes.
Dog cardio?
Yeah, dog cardio.
And,
Oh, yeah.
if you're the police commissioner, why not be the dog catcher at the same time?
Actually, a friend of mine made up a sign, put it on my lawn, it said Rick Stromoski for dog catcher. To the expense of doing that.
A round of applause for our... You can go back to your lawn. Okay. Sorry.
I'm gonna save this.
So how many people, by a show of hands, are from Rhode Island? Ooh, excellent, excellent. I was looking up Rhode Island. I'm from Massachusetts, born and bred. But I learned something about Rhode Island, which is that while it is the smallest state, which I think everybody knows, what you might not know, it is the 7th least populous state, but it is also the 2nd most densely populated state, which means that there are not a lot of you, but you are all up in each other's business. So our next challenge is to ask our artists to draw their very favorite thing about Rhode Island.
Guess I should keep drawing.
Don't you like this? All right. So, Mark, tell us your very favorite thing about Rhode Island, and speak into the mic.
Isn't Hasbro in Rhode Island? Don't they make Mr. Potato Head?
Yeah.
So Mr. Potato Head crushing Rhode Island just because it's more fun to draw on that.
Excellent. Excellent. Round of applause for Mark. Betsey, tell us your very favorite thing about Rhode Island.
I was gonna make a pizza strips joke and it just like got away from me for a bit. It's pizza strips. Of course. Pizza strips. They don't look like that in the gas station though.
Excellent.
Your red roosters are delicious.
A round of applause, please, for our cartoonists. You guys, I think we should do 2 sheets at a time because that way you can't see through. Have any of you guys ever gone to the San Diego Comic-Con, the mother of all Comic-Cons? So if you ever get a chance, this QuickDraw is modeled on the San Diego Comic-Con, which is the brainchild of a man named Evanier. And we are doing this QuickDraw with his blessing. And the San Diego Comic-Con is a lot like this, on steroids plus hallucinogens. So, let's now have our next challenge for our artists. While I think creating comics is something that everyone can do, some people don't think that they can draw. If you are a member of the audience that does not feel like you have a single drawing bone in your body, please raise your hand. Great, you, come with me. So this next game is called the Squiggle Game. Here, come on up. Up there? Yep, up there. Yep. What's your name?
Kelby.
Kelby. Please welcome Kelby to the stage. Never volunteer for anything.
You have to do the squiggle dance.
So this next game is called the Squiggle Game, and this is a game, the reason I'm bringing Kelby up here is to show that everyone can participate in this game. It's a great game to play at a restaurant when you're waiting for your food to come, and if you have children, if they're starting to melt down, this is the game to play. So what's going to happen is, Kelby, I want you to make a very simple squiggle onto this pad. Simple. That was terrible. All right, try again, a different squiggle on this pad. Put your heart into it.
Do you know the definition of squiggle?
Oh.
Oh, very good. Somehow. Good.
Well, that's a
Good.
little too much now.
All right.
Somewhere in between this.
Somewhere in between, Kelby, this sad attempt and this enthusiastic attempt. Please, on Rick's, try again.
Don't mess up.
Don't mess up.
We have another volunteer from the audience.
Okay. Kelby, your work here is done, but I want to thank you very much for coming. Okay, artists, you have seen the gift that Kelby has given you. I would now like you to construct a drawing that collaborates with Kelby's art. Here we go.
I'm going to do some more extraneous drawing here. Cattails.
Let me autograph that for you guys.
Yeah. Ready, everybody? Turn around and let's see what Kelly and Mark are doing. Kelly, you get to take these home and put them on your wall.
I think Kelby really carried the weight on that one.
I was glad to be first.
Yes. How do you pronounce that?
Don't know.
I love it. Picasso would be jealous. And then we've got Rick's praying mantis. that was the best mail I ever ate. So we're going to do a version 2 of the Squiggle game that's going to have audience participation. So what has happened is my lovely girlfriend Kristen has, if you could stand up, Kristen, please, has made 3 of the exact same squiggle. Pretty close. Yeah, so at the very front, our artists have not seen the squiggle. Kelly, watch and learn. And what I would love to hear from the audience is if you could please yell out what you might see. So have a look and just yell something out.
Dog.
A dog. Okay, so Mark, you are drawing the dog that is obviously here.
A hand. Clown.
Sorry? A clown.
A hand. Cookie jar.
What's that? One more? A tree next to a river. So, we have, Mark is going to draw the dog, Betsy's going to draw the clown, and Rick is going to draw the tree behind the river. It kind of reminds me of the Michelangelo thing when he'd look at a block of marble and he would just carve out what didn't need to be there. So, artists.
Do I need to be here?
Tree behind a river, tree near a river. Who said that?
A tree next to a river. Obviously, a tree next to a river.
Obviously, marijuana is legal. All right. Tree. Oh.
Watch and learn, everyone.
Snoopy. We've got, I wish someone would drag me into the sewer. It 2, 1, 3. Yeah, that's the It 3. And oh my God, did you see that tree fall next? I'm learning to read. Oh my God. Did you see that tree next to the river? Fall in.
Have you been hanging out with this for lunch? What'd you guys have for lunch?
Pass me that joint. A round of applause for her. And for my lovely girlfriend, Kristen, who started it all. Just I want to say that a bunch of us here are members of the National Cartoonist Society, and if any of you are cartoonists and want to join a professional organization, come up to us after the event, and we'll be happy to answer any of your questions. One of the perks is that it is a free booth that you can go to at any of the Comic Cons like this one.
Also, too, if there's students. We have
Oh yes, we have scholarships for students. What is it, $3 grand, $5 grand?
$5,000 if you're an art student, if you're going to art school, there's a competition, you submit your work, and they're judged by a group of members, and the winner gets $5,000. You're also flown out to the next National Cartoonist Society Reuben Awards, which is like our Oscars, and we pay for your airfare, pay for your hotel, pay for your registration. You can bring your parents or your boyfriend or your girlfriend, and we bring you on stage and we clap for you, and you're like one of our guests of honor. So it's well worth trying. We don't get a ton of submissions, so the odds are good if you're a good artist, cartoonist, that you might make the finals or even win.
So come be a pet.
What are my odds?
Keep practicing. Keep practicing.
We do need another waiter.
Okay, for our next challenge for our artist, there are a lot of 50th anniversaries. It's the 50th anniversary of Watergate, but in happier news, it is the 50th anniversary of Sesame Street this year. And so our challenge for our cartoonists is, when they don't have their makeup on, what do some of these 50-year-old characters look like? Okay, I am a cartoonist and not a historian. It's not the 50th anniversary of Watergate.
It's the 50th anniversary of them planning
Woodstock, I was thinking Woodstock, yes. It begins with a W. When you take the kind of drugs I do, they all look the same.
I had a brother that was at Watergate.
What did Nixon sing?
I don't know, they're all naked, jumping in mud puddles.
This is the Sesame Street.
I'm gonna draw some cattails. That goddamn tree again.
No makeup. And Betsey, what is the name of your character?
It's my girl Parthiban.
Parthiban.
She's seen some stuff.
Parthiban. Yeah, what's that flower you got on? And then we have
Bird in his tree.
Bird in his tree. I hate it when I can't, when my eyeballs fall out.
And his nose.
So beautiful.
And his nose, right. He sneezed and then, away they went. A round of applause for as before. You were the lucky one. Could somebody please name the name of a cisgendered male cartoon character or animal?
Calvin.
Calvin. Perfect. Okay, and now could somebody please name a cisgendered female character of any stripe? Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon. Are you guys familiar with Sailor Moon?
Sure.
A little bit? No? All right, we've got an oldster here, so let's find something that has...
Dora.
Dora? Are you familiar with Dora?
Yeah,
Rick?
but I don't know what she looks like. I just not right now, Maria.
Oh my goodness.
Come on, somebody
For
flash it.
Rick's sake, please. Lucy. Lucy. Are you familiar with Lucy? Not Paul.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So, cartoonists, please draw the love child of Calvin and Lucy. Okay? And if anybody of you guys are unfamiliar with the term cisgendered, ask someone under 21, and then have them explain pansexual and non-binary as well. Okay, if we're gonna talk about old, I want to talk about Rick Stromoski. And no, but I remember a time, I was talking about those $15 cocktails. I remember a time, actually, one of Kristen's friends met her husband at Nickel Beer Night in college, and he was looking good because she was 35 cents in. Tree! Tree!
This is a mirror image of the tree.
And the river, please.
Cattails.
All right, turn around and let's show. The baby is in. Oh. So what's happening, Betsey?
It's gonna be diabolical. Like you cannot control. This is the riot police.
This is right. The gender reveal party went crazy.
Yeah, you'll never take it alive.
Yes. And then we've got the love child. And you know what? What I appreciate about this is very non-binary. All right, a round of applause for our cartoonists. So I draw the cartoon strip Rhymes with Orange, which appears in newspapers. And when I first wanted to make a career out of cartooning, I came and I brought some strips that I had done and I brought them to an established cartoonist, and the feedback I got was, don't quit your day job. So, cartoonists, why don't you draw one of your worst jobs and tell us why? Outside of cartooning, not cartooning.
Outside of this moment.
Outside of this moment, exactly. I used to, well, in order to get here and bring all of these, what do you call these things? Easels. Oh, artists, right. We had to go through the back corridors of the hotel, and I kind of felt like we were in Ocean's, 11, 12, or 13. And because we were seeing all of the, like tons and tons of coffee urns and things like cafeteria stuff. And my job in college was to be a plate scraper. And I nearly got fired from that. But it brought me back. So that was my worst job.
Why did you almost get fired?
They said I didn't have the concentration for it. Luckily, I had a friend there was like the big boss who wanted to fire me, and then there was the assistant who was my friend, and so nepotism totally helped me out. Big fan of that. Oh my gosh, right. There was one time that I got fired from a pizza place, and when I got fired, this was in Ireland, and I went to the manager, and I said, well, why am I not on the schedule? And she said, well, you're a lovely girl, but you're slow, and you seem to invite trouble wherever you go. And so I was like, okay. And then a couple days later, I realized that by slow, she hadn't meant slow moving. She meant slow. And it pissed me off that it took me that many times. All right, artists, looks like we've got some fantastic jobs that you've had to do. So Mark, why don't you tell us a little bit about your worst job and why?
Oh, I was a fry cook at McDonald's. I don't know if anyone's doing that.
Yeah.
You might love it, but this was back in Denver. Oh, yes, and I would just go home and I would smell like a cheeseburger. So good. It was actually pretty good.
I worked as a hostess as a restaurant, and I did not get fired from this. And the thing about the restaurant is that it was orange spiced tea, and so I smelled like orange spiced tea. I cannot even get in the same room as orange spiced tea. It's over for me. Okay, Betsey, what was your job?
I worked in powder room, mixing powders.
Is this drug related?
It was, for like pancakes.
Air quotes.
Pancakes and waffle mixes. But if you work in a powder room mixing powders for pancakes and waffle mixes, it gets in the air, and then it goes in your lungs, and it gets in your nose. So on chocolate waffle days, you can snot rocket chocolate, snot rocket.
Chocolate rockets, not rockets.
Sounds like a test job.
Yeah? Rick, tell us about your worst job.
I used to bite the heads off of Rhode Island red chickens and bring them back.
True geek.
That's not true. I just made it up. Okay, I'll roll tree.
Get back to your
Tree man, get back.
We have a question from the audience.
Oh, yes.
About the McDonald's one, I believe I had a recommendation for Yankee Candle, but they kind of rejected my idea. It was a McDonald's scented candle.
Good thing.
Once you light the candle, it feels like you walked into McDonald's.
I don't know why.
And then they need to do a shower gel, so you can just shower yourself off after.
You got nuggets.
Okay. So what I thought I'd do now is I'm going to go in and ask some of you guys what your jobs are and what's challenging about it. So, let's see. Tell me, what is your job and what's challenging about it?
I'm a law librarian, and I'm lawyers.
Excellent. Okay, I'm going to get another one. You, young man, what is your job and what's challenging about it?
I don't have a job, I just go to school and the teachers.
Okay, being a student and the teachers. Okay, and you? You're a police officer. You're a police officer, and so what are some of the kind of things you've got to deal with?
Front row seats at the greatest show on earth.
Front row streets, front row seats to the streets.
Supposed to be on duty.
Yeah. So the police commissioner. So, We have a police officer. Rick, you'll draw for the police officer something challenging about their job. We've got a student, and what is challenging about, tell us what's challenging about the teachers. And then my memory has, we have a law librarian and the challenges that she faces dealing with the lawyers. Or anything about being a librarian.
Everyone loves lawyers.
I drew the wrong eyes.
We can do that.
So while these guys are drawing, while I was the hostess at the restaurant, it was a very popular place, and what we were famous for was our coffee cake. So people would call in orders for their coffee cake, and the name of the place was Hobie's. And so during the Christmas holidays, it would be ringing off the hook for people to get their coffee cake, and it was my job to answer the phone. And this is what they made me say 1,000 times a day. Ho, 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 Hobies, this is Hilary speaking. May I help you?
You can have this drawing one. I'm done with the cattails. Hand that goddamn tree.
Make it stop.
So, Mark, I imagine that this is a fantasy that's happening.
Yeah, sorry, I was just trying to capture what's going on. Your hair's long as
So, Betsey, you work with schools, do you? And so, as much as teachers are a problem, which our students, their teachers are a problem to students are a problem to teachers. And then we've got our
Biggest dilemma.
biggest dilemma. Police work. Said the commissioner. So we know it's true. So I just learned that we have 5 minutes left. I know, this is going too fast. So what we're going to do is we're going to have our special guest. Our special guest is a real-life science fiction hero. His name is Vic, and he is at MIT. And his job, he has just texted me his job. is he recently built the world's first hovercraft for Elon Musk and his company, SpaceX. I know, that is huge. That thing's gonna blow up like all the other little hovercrafts that the kids are on.
Did you bring it?
Yeah, is this how you got there? Is this how you got here to Rhode Island Comic Con? All right, so let me tell you our challenge for Vic. Vic, please stand up. Everybody give a round of applause for Vic. We're gonna send Vic out of the room, and then I'm going to let everybody here know we're gonna choose 3 words that Vic does not know, and then we're gonna bring him back in, and we're gonna watch while Vic tries to guess based on our talented cartoonist drawing skills. Get out of here, Vic. Hovercraft your butt out. Okay.
His ear's gonna be right against that door.
Yeah, I know.
He has a glass in his pocket.
Okay, so our first one is going to be cheddar cheese. Cheddar cheese.
Do we all draw it right now? Or one of us draw it?
I can't remember how to do it.
Probably do
We don't know
one.
how to.
We'll do one of these. Okay.
Mark
Our
gets cheddar.
next one, Mark. Our next one is going to be pavement. Pavement. That's gonna be hard. And then our third one is going to be maximum. Is that too hard? What?
No.
Too much straight.
But you have an idea for next?
Okay, all right, so let's send our science fiction hero in.
Come on in. I think I figured this out.
Okay. So all these guys are gonna be drawing, and when if Vic is close, start snapping your fingers, right? And if Vic gets one, be sure to reward Vic. Stand back up, stand back up. Okay, so I'm gonna give you 1, 2, 3, go. Okay. Here's the mic. Just start guessing.
Line squiggle, circle, peanuts, rod, curtain rod, rabbit, star trooper.
You're drawing. There are 3 different words. Just
Words,
so you know.
okay.
3 different ones.
Okay.
Come on, you're from MIT. What'd you say?
Rats, I know this movie, Ratatouille, frick, why are there arrows? Eating cheese, rat cheese, rat trap, what is this? Mickey Mouse, Bonnie? Why is there a dead squirrel? Is that train, roadkill. Spacecraft, I don't know what that is. A tractor, and this guy ran over this poor thing. Okay, so grass, squiggles, a pond.
Does anyone have a Boston cream pie?
Signals? What is this? Acoustic signals. Waves, interference, sound. Reflection. Why is there a cheeseburger? A tree hugger. A flag. A post. Cat skills. Okay, I see cat skills. So why is there cheeseburger and cheese and McDonald's?
All right, what's this?
Yeah, what's up?
What's he lying in?
So Rhode.
Yeah, what's another name for road?
Elaine.
What's it made of?
Gravel.
It's a steamroller.
Steam
Steamroller.
farm. I don't know.
How many farms have steamrollers? This is a guy that built a hovercraft.
So what is that? What's another name for Rhode?
I want squiggle band back
Okay.
Well, it smells. It sounds like mavement. I win.
You like numbers.
Yeah, I mean, why is there a switch, a clock, alarm clock, something with sound, signals, acoustics, time, midnight,
Not minimum. Not minimum, but
a maximum.
yeah.
Not Swiss cheese.
Not Swiss cheese. Well, I mean, mozzarella cheese. I mean, American cheese.
It's hard.
It's
sharp.
Cheddar cheese.
MIT graduate.
It looks like our time is up. I want to thank everybody for coming. Please give another round of